Not a bad view from a balcony, is it? A balcony. Yeah, you heard that right. An economy single room in Hotel Podillya, Vinnitsya. 400 hryvnia, that's 11 US dollars. If you just show up and buy yourself a room for one night. It doesn't come with a breakfast, but it does come with not only a balcony, but a single bed, a small TV, a big fridge, a writing desk, and an ensuite bathroom with a shower and hot water. Unfortunately, no soft toilet paper. There's the rough stuff. But come on, not a bad deal. I know you'll be hankering that free breakfast or included breakfast at Hotel Central there tomorrow morning, won't you? I know I probably will. But you can't have everything. And besides, Hotel Central there didn't have this very nice view, which oddly we share with the next door neighbour. So you might want to just take that into consideration. If you're leaving the room, then make sure you close up the window nice and tight, just in case. Don't want any unexpected visitors, eh? There's a nice little sculpture park. Okay, there are only 3 sculptures that we can see here, but there's a 4th up there and a 5th just beyond. There are a few bits of sculpture and artwork I've seen already, but really haven't even touched the surface yet. Just breezed in from Khmelnitskyii on the cheap train. The cheap train, 3 hours, about €2.50. And why is it 3 hours? I was thinking because it's going to have all these little stops. That's what normally happens with the cheap train. The reality didn't have all these little stops really. But we did have one very long stop, which seemed to drag on for, 45 minutes, if not an hour, at the stop before Vinnitsya. And also what was a bit disconcerting was there were announcements from a lady with one of those tannoy systems which, even if you know the language, you would struggle to fathom what she was actually saying. You get the idea. And the train, when it left that station, eventually started moving backwards in the opposite direction. And I was thinking, is there a problem so bad that the train is going back to Khmelnitskyii? But somehow, as these trains do, if you've ever been on one such train, the train knew what it was doing. So even though it looked a straight line, Khmelnitskyii, Vinnitsya, west moving east, the train began that way, but then ended going backwards for the last 25 minutes. And yeah, puzzling. But we got here. It worked. Then I jumped on one of the electric buses. Not electric buses, what are they called? Sort of, well, they are electric buses, but they've got a prong connection to wires. They get their power from electricity that way. Old style buses, and I can't get used to this. It's a newfangled thing for me in Ukraine. You get on the bus and you pay electronically using a little machine, either using an app you've already downloaded if you're a local, or if you're somebody like me or you who just shows up, you can just use your bank card, press it against the machine, and it will charge you 8 hryvnia. And that saved me a 45-minute walk from the train station to a bus stop here, the Maidan Nezalezhnosti bus stop. Really convenient, really close, and not only is it close to the hotel, it's really close to a nice looking walking street and close to the big Silpo supermarket. Location, 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 eh? And the police car has just pulled out of the mini car park there. They were sat there and I could hear they were on the radio, and I was hoping they weren't watching and listening to me, because I don't need a knock at the door at midnight, do I? What were you up to on your balcony? Well, guess what? It's none of your business. Oh, hang on a minute, you're the police. And there's a war on. Yeah, this is your business. Well, I was filming myself. There's the answer. Weird tourist on the balcony, in broad daylight, filming himself. Must be a madman. Or dangerous. But no, they probably didn't even notice I was up here. Let's take a little walk through the room and then through the hotel lobby and outside. Ooh la la, boomaga. You won't get that joke unless you, yeah, never mind. That'll do. I've got a bit of a kinky door here. There's a sort of knack to opening it, which I haven't got just yet. Very nice little cute cleaning lady had to help me. You sort of unlock yourself and then lock yourself, and it, yeah, but you need both hands doing that, so I'll have to put this down. Bear with me. I've locked myself in. Better close the window just in case, because it is full-length window. There we are. I think that's locked. That will do. Right, unlike in some places, you get to keep the key for the duration of your stay. Yes, the lights don't get activated to come on as somebody walks down the corridor. But it's okay. If I went sleepwalking, it might be a different matter. Christmas trees ready for Christmas, or hang on, has Christmas already been? I have to check the calendar. I'm up on the 4th floor. 2 elevators. They work. There is a bit of a trip hazard you might want to be wary of. Just notice the level of the elevator you're stepping into is about 1.5 inches. He says sandwiching himself. About 1.5 inches higher than the level of the floor of the corridor. And in the room itself, well, the floor's pretty wonky, and it's got one of those carpets adorned with stains of uncertain origin. Luckily, there was nobody outside waiting to step in the lift, otherwise they would think, oh God, who the heck's this? Just scoot past reception, because I'm sure they don't want to feature in any of my videos. Isn't this nice? Lovely fish tank. To keep me entertained for ages watching this. And if it gets too hot in the room, or I get too bored in the room, I don't get bored, but if I just decide I want to come down here because this looks better than the four walls of my room, it's nice to know that the fishes will be waiting for me. And we step outside and we can look at ourselves in a lot of mirror real estate. If you're the kind of oddball who likes looking at himself. Yeah. Well, moving on. So there's going to be a huge amount of background noise, certainly with the traffic and just about everything else. Because you know what the internal mic on this Samsung phone works like. So there's one way out there, and there's another way out here. And I'll just show you that little statue part because I want to see it. What are we going to make of this? I wonder if I should, if I can, step on the grass. Just to get a bit closer to see if maybe we get a better insight into the artist's intentions. I think that's fairly straightforward, isn't it? Two lovers in a clinch. Or maybe it's wrestling. I'm just looking to see where my room is. Now, I think if you were Polish and you saw this, you would be saying Syrena. If you've been to Warsaw, if you've been either down on the Wisła River in Warszawa, or if you've had a walk around the old town in Warsaw, you'll see the symbol of the mermaid with the shield. And this looks very much like the same character, and I'm wondering whether it is. Might be a shared folklore mythology. What do you think? If you know the answer, please put it down in the comments below. And we've got this fella looking on. He's got a nice view. Smarovozov. Vladimir Ivanovich Smarovozov. I think he's an artist. Was an artist. But no idea who he was actually. I'll confess. This is another part of Podillia. See, there's the entrance. There's this big wing here. But I don't know what it is. Banqueting hall, conference centre. The lady didn't mention anything about the restaurant or any other facilities the hotel could supply me with, tempt me with. Therefore, I'm a bit in the dark as to whether there is a place to go and look for a restaurant area in the morning should I feel I really do want a nice prepared breakfast. But I guess I won't be doing that. Now this is tricky, isn't it? Art isn't meant to be for everyone. It's not meant to be straightforward. It isn't meant to be put on a plate for you. Otherwise, where would be the mystery in unraveling the clues? I think you might see similarity in the style here, particularly of the large totem at the back. If you remember in Khmelnitskyii, we were in the gardens of a museum there. They were displaying parts of totems, but none of them as pristine and perfect as this one in front of me now. Well, it forces me to conclude this has to be a replica, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Surely this would be in a museum garden or in a museum interior and wouldn't be on display here. Or is it? It must be a replica. Please let me know. I'm relying on people probably from Vinnitsya, but maybe even people from Vinnitsya don't know. And that might be the last of the statues for a while. But that doesn't mean to say we can't dream. And I think we've got a bit of a dreamer up there. Nice fountain, eh? And nice architecture behind. And a building with a lovely mural of a lady in the background. Down the side of that building up there, can you see? In the distance. Very nice. Now who's this dreamer at the top of the pole? Dun, dun, dun. Here's another angle which might make a bit more sense. I can see Vinnitsya is going to be a little city full of lots of interesting artistic attractions. We've got a few dogs sitting around in the park. I'm thinking they're homeless. Never like to see that. Got a big building here which looks like it must be hell to live in, or to work in, or to study in, whatever it is. But all that glass, phew. Hot, hot, hot. Oh, there's interesting. Blue and white tram. Now, I remember I was catching up with some folks who I met. I used to stay with the family sometimes when I visited Alushta down in Crimea. We're talking about 2005 to 2010. And yeah, it turned out that some of the family lived in Vinnitsya, so we got along well, and thought, obvious thing to do, look them up when I come to Vinnitsya. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was then, about 15 years ago-ish, that I was told about these blue and white trams. Apparently they originally were in Switzerland, and Switzerland donated them to Vinnitsya. I don't know if it was one place in Switzerland, one city, like twinned with Vinnitsya, but yeah, these were, what was it, they said 50, they were 50 years old already, so now they're 60, 70 years old, maybe older. And we got some, well, yeah, a modern bus running on the electric wires behind. I guess Vinnitsya has adopted the blue and white colours for the transport. Looking that way, isn't it? Oh, and then he sees, there's a green and white bus. So it doesn't always hold true. Hello, there's something interesting down here. I'm going to investigate. I am interested to see how the camera performs in this light. And should I cross the road? Do I need to? A patchwork quilt of the city, perhaps. A lady is sleeping underneath. Yeah, I like it. Why it's next to a little shop, your guess is as good as mine. Oh, I like being able to do that. It would be nice if I could do that as well without having to stop and start the camera. So the buses don't stop for pedestrians, but some of the drivers will. And up here on the right hand side is one of the entrances to that Silpo supermarket I mentioned, which is sort of a go-to place because I don't like to travel with too much stuff. I don't think any of us like to travel with food if we can avoid it. And therefore, the first thing you actually need when you arrive at a place is, in my case, I needed bottled water to make some drinks in the room and some milk for my cornflakes for my anticipated breakfast tomorrow. Big shopping mall in there, but Silpo's the one I was really interested in. And there were some sandwiches made up, competitively priced. Not super cheap, but reasonably priced. And again, as I've got a fridge, it makes sense that I can just put something like a ham salad sandwich or ciabatta into the fridge, and if I get peckish later tonight, it's there. Otherwise, it'll do for sometime tomorrow. And I got a couple of cakes as well, which were wrapped up in cellophane, and they've got a sell-by date for 2 days' time. Again, pop them in the fridge, they'll keep. Got a Ukrainian Marilyn Monroe here. What is this place? It's wine and cheese and grapes and nibbles place, I guess. There is a bit of colour on the walls over here. Why not go the extra step and get mugged? No, you fool. And check out if there is some more hidden artwork around. I like to be able to say, I'm doing this all for you, but of course, it's all about me and my selfish self-interests, which I'm hoping some people out there actually share, so we can have mutual selfish self-interests. Can you have mutual self-interests, or is that illogical? Let's not think about it. I think you got the gist of what I was meaning. If you feel like a mojito, 350 ml, okay, that's lost on me, but that's going to be about €2.50. Doesn't break the bank, does it? It's the kind of place where if I had company and that company suggested let's go and have a mojito somewhere, I would be delighted to come to this place and give them my money, not just because the drinks are not expensive, but also, oh hello, what have we got here? It says let sleeping dogs lie. Probably the same with cats. They'll probably jump up and scratch me, but at the moment he's just too tired. Oh no, he's ready. He thought about jumping up and scratching me, no doubt, and then decided, I can't be bothered, it's been a long day. Oh, here's a pupster. Oh, he's attending to his private business. I shouldn't be filming, should I, when he's doing that? And they're very kindly telling us where things are in English, as well as Ukrainian. Soborna Street, which is that main street running from the stop where I got off at Maidan Niezależności down to the river. And if you continue over the river, cross the bridge, keep going, keep going, keep going, eventually you get to the train station. If you arrive by bus at this central bus station, that's really close to the river and the bridge. And logistically, it might make more sense for you if you don't mind another bus journey in Ukraine, but I fancied the train. Toilets in 40 metres, family cinema in 70 metres. Over here, and the Hrihori Artinov monument in 80 metres. And should there be an air raid suddenly, follow the arrow. I don't know where you go once you go that way, but there's a shelter somewhere. Or you might want to just take your chance and carry on filming. Crikey, 10 to 8, must be mad. What am I doing? It's vampire time almost. And then what will I do? Run into a vampire. It's going to happen one of these days, surely. Lots of things to look forward to. A schematic of the park. I'm thinking this bald yellow looking individual is me. And this is not just a tower, but a museum as well. Museum of Afghan Warriors. Monument to Hrihori Artinov is over that away. We read the sign over here, so that matches up, doesn't it? Ah, Vinnitsya Tower, Artinov's Tower. Ah, so that's the same Artinov, Hrihori, or Gregory. The main symbol of Vinnitsya. Oh, is it? Built in 1911 as a water tower and observation points of the city fire team. 1944, a flag was raised on it, symbolising the liberation of Vinnitsya from the Nazis. Post-war period was used as a living space. That's a bit vague, isn't it? In the 1980s, it was reconstructed. Nowadays, there is a museum exposition of the memory of the warriors of Vinnitsya region. In 2000, the building was officially included to the list of symbols of Vinnitsya. Aha. And a museum stuck inside as well. I've been trying to be a good tourist and wait for some other folks to move away from the statue of the lady I want to go and see. But that's not going to happen for a little while because they're hanging out there. Perhaps they decided it's a good place to meet some friends. So instead, let's have a look at Vinnitsya with love. Is that a real cat? I think it is. That may sound a stupid thing. But with my eyesight, there we are, it is a real cat. The cat's happy, now taking on a sphinx pose. Here he is again, making unnecessary, uncalled for, unsolicited advances to a lady all alone. Or is it a lady? Now I'm closer. Yeah, I don't think it is. No, don't think it's a lady at all. Or is it? Who knows these days? Anyway, it's an individual. Feather quill for writing in one hand, paper in another. Looks as though they're wearing armour, but sort of like a Caesar's crown. What a gobbledygook of symbols. Any information on the reverse? Nope. Clueless. I like it anyway. Whatever it's about, I like it. Oh, this is called European Square. Okay. Oh, I've seen something interesting over here. Got a little family of elephants. Baby elephants. Ah, the romance. I think I found our man. I think he's sat here all alone. Looking like he wants to have somebody to have a good philosophical conversation with. Or maybe he just likes to shout at people who sit on his bench. Impossible to tell, isn't it? So who was he? The town's architect? That would be a possible guess, wouldn't it? I mean, there was no information about why Artinov's Tower is called Artinov's Tower, so you'd think it's because he was the architect responsible for it. He looks more of an architect than a fireman, doesn't he? If you like the video and want to see a bit more of Vinnitsya, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe. Otherwise you could miss out. And who knows what's going to happen next. I've fallen on my face. I've slammed my knee into the door of the ensuite bathroom at the last hotel. Gave myself a stiff limp for a few days. Can't remember if I bothered mentioning that previously in a video. The possibilities are endless. But if I go out on that balcony, I suspect I could get vertigo. So, don't want that. No more accidents. It's night-night from me and night-night from him. An artist named Arkady Vasilovich Soroka.